Episode of Handling Real Estate with me, Carlos Handal. Today we're going to talk about your first home purchase. So first, like I mentioned, I do work a lot with first-time home buyers, and I have Scout here, first-time home buyer, and she's got some questions, and I'll actually let her introduce herself.
Yeah, my name is Scout. I moved to Greenville in 2019. So I have been, living in different apartments, and right now I'm living in downtown Greenville, and I can't even fathom continuing to pay the amount I do month to month for rent when I knew that could easily be a mortgage. Yeah. And so I think I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how much I'm supposed to have saved. I don't know where to look. I don't know what's a good deal and what's a bad deal. So I guess my first question is where do I start? What's my first step?
Where do you start?
Yeah.
So I will not ask you on camera or on microphone here how much you pay rent, but
yeah.
If you were coming to me, I would ask you that just because that's gonna kind of let us know what you can afford. But where do you start? You of course first find someone, a realtor, someone that you trust. Please don't try to do it on your own. You can, but just don't go crazy Googling things, everything. There's a lot of misinformation there. It's gonna tell you need a lot more money than you really do. I'm gonna tell you the first step after you meet. I always love meeting in person first, getting to know you, making sure first of all that you are in the right position to buy a house, that the buying is right for you right now. I'll ask you all sorts of questions. After that, I'll advise you to talk to a lender, a home lender. You can use your big bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whoever you use. I'll advise you to talk to a home mortgage lender. They're going to guide you a little bit better. That's what they do every day. They're going to ask you more questions, so they're going to pre-qualify you, okay?
Okay.
This is important because you want to know how much you can afford, and if you feel comfortable, you might qualify for more than what you actually want to buy.
Okay.
So you have to feel comfortable with that amount, okay? So that's the first step.
Is finding out if I'm even qualified.
Exactly. And I'm sure you want to know, what do you need to get qualified?
Yeah,
It's not that difficult. And that's where I told you, don't go Googling how to buy a house because there's a lot of misinformation out there. I get a lot of first-time home buyers telling me, can we meet, but I'm not ready to buy a house because my credit score is not where it should be. I said, well, do you have any idea where your credit score is at? Yeah, it's about 700, and I read that I need 740 plus to buy a house. You don't. You can buy a house with 620 credit score. There's different, it just depends what program. And that's where the lender comes in. They're gonna put you in the right program. You do not need 20% down. Like if you go to like little apps like Zillow is gonna tell you everything calculus with 20%. You do not need 20% down. There's first-time home buyer programs where you can buy with as little as 0% down. USDA 0% down. The typical, the one I see the most is conventional with 3% down and when I know it's easy for me to just start saying percent, so 3% of the value of the house. A $200,000 house, you would need at least $6,000 to buy it.
Got it.
So that's kind of a ballpark.
Got it.
But there is programs where you can buy with zero also.
I like that program.
Right?
I like that program. Okay, so what if, I think I have all these great aspirations of what I would want a home to look like, but I have to be realistic. And I guess my next question is, when you've dealt with first-time home buyers like myself, are you leading them in the direction of, let's look at new builds, or are you looking at fixer-uppers?
Okay. I like to look at everything.
Okay.
Everything that fits your budget. Even if you tell me, hey Carlos, this is like, here's a house. This is the first house that popped in my search. I love it. I want to buy it. I'll advise you. Let's look at different houses. Let's look at different options. I work both new construction and resale. There's good and bads for both of them.
Okay.
So I like to take you to these places and kind of explain the difference, and then we can sit down and take a more educated decision. New construction is great for a lot of first-time home buyers because there's like zero maintenance basically. Everything's covered under warranty. If you're a single girl, you might want to do something like that because you're not gonna be wanting to deal with, busted pipe or whatever.
Amen to that.
Yeah. I have first-time home buyers who are pretty good with fixing things, or their parents are. So they want to buy a resale. When I say resale, non-new home with more character to them, and maybe not in a development, and they're pretty good with updating the house after they buy it, and they actually like to be working in the house. So yes, I think I like to show you every option, and then I sit with you and we take a more educated decision.
Either or. Okay.
Yes.
So if I am going, let's like walk through this step by step. Okay. Because I'm very much a to-do list type of person. So I'm like, all right.
Okay.
Step one. I need to find out what I'm even looking for. Do I like this type of vibe in a house? Do I like this type of vibe? I should probably start building my Pinterest board, right?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Perfect.
Then the second one is I need to find a realtor.
Right.
And let's say I don't know who you are. Let's say
Yes.
I've never heard about you before.
Mm-hmm.
But we always say word of mouth is the best type of marketing.
That's right.
And somebody gives me your name.
Okay.
I guess my question to you, that's a side question, is what do you feel like you do that's different than everybody else that would make me want to choose you as my realtor?
So, more than answering that, I'll actually advise you
Okay.
to not just talk to me, even if I've been recommended to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll advise you to at least talk to 3 different realtors. You can Google them, whatever you need to do. We're all different.
Right.
And we all do the same thing at the end of the day, but it's just, okay, so you have to, it's a long process, and we try to make it easy for you. My goal is for you to not have to think or worry, for you to enjoy the process, for you to,
Right.
fall in love with that house and get your keys.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal. So we're going to be working together for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You need to trust me,
Right.
not just because someone told you, but we need to see it, we need to get to know each other and trust each other. I need to trust you as well. We're gonna again be going to look at houses and working pretty close together. I would tell you questions to ask a realtor. Don't ask them how long you've been in the business. You can have someone in the business that's been in the business for 2 years, or someone for 20 years,
Right.
and the one being 20 years might not be up to date with what's going on, or
That's a good point.
you kind of. I would ask more questions like, how many units have you closed within the past 6 months, 12 months? Because our work, more than finding you a house, you can go online and find a house yourself, is negotiating on your behalf, making sure you get the best deal, making sure, and we can talk later about this, there's gonna be inspections, like how to find what we need to ask for and how to negotiate those inspections. So the more contracts you have, the more you develop those negotiating skills.
Right.
So that I think would be a big thing.
Okay.
Honestly, I think that's one of the best things you can ask. Ask your realtor. We're all different. Ask them. For example, I'm going to ask you now. What's your preferred method of communication?
Phone calls for
Phone
sure.
calls. There you
Phone
go.
calls for sure. I don't know. I'm a very personable person.
Okay.
So if I'm making the biggest decision one of the biggest decisions of my life, one of the biggest purchases of my life,
Mm-hmm.
one of the first major purchases of my life. I don't want to hide behind a keyboard with the person that's leading me to do so. I want to be with someone, working with someone that is picking up the phone, talking to me, walking me through the process, making me look at things in a different perspective that I may have not even thought to look at that way.
So that's an important question to ask
Right.
your realtor as well. Hey, what's your, because if you're going to be calling and then they're just going to text you back, you're going to get upset at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to be a good experience for you.
Right.
So that's an important, so ask them questions that will make sense for you.
Okay.
That like, what am I looking for in a realtor? Again, I can go on and on telling you what I can do different from other realtors. At the end of the day, I think more than anything, we need to, again, like I was talking in the other episode, I sell houses, a house a week more, I don't know, but, so it's not about that at that point. It's about, do you like the way I work? Do you like, hanging with me? Because we're going to be, again, spending time together all the time on the phone and vice versa. So I think that's more important than what can I do for you?
Okay. So I need to find my realtor.
Yes.
That's the next step. Okay. The step after that is I've chosen you as my realtor.
Mm-hmm.
So do I pick houses that I want to see, or I tell you things that I'm looking for and you look for houses for me?
So on our first sit down, and that's why I love to get to know people, so if our sit down, we're sitting down today, this is the first time we're getting to know each other, I am not going to pull a contract, I am not going to pull any paperwork, I do not want to do it.
Right.
And I'm sure that's not what you want to see either. I am just going to have a conversation. I'm going to start asking you all this, okay, why are you buying a house? Do you have a dog? Do you have kids? If you have a dog, probably having a fence in the backyard might be important to you. Are you a single girl? So do you rather a townhome where, at that point where you have no maintenance, or do you want extra space? Do you have any hobbies? Do you, yes, I play the piano, I have a piano, okay, then we need space for your piano. How many, do you have family in the area, or do they come from out of town to visit you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my family comes, every couple months, and they stay with me for 2-3 days, my dad and my mom, my sister, I don't know.
Right.
Okay, we need a spare room for when they come into town, right? Where do you work, Scout? Do you work, you work close to downtown Greenville.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you willing to drive 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Like, how far away from work do you want to live? That's going to give us, an idea of the radius of where to start looking for. This is going to give me a better idea. Do you like older homes? Do you like brick? What do you like in a house? Colorful, everything. I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna just talk to you.
You're gonna interview me.
Exactly.
Got it.
And I'm gonna paint that picture in my mind.
Okay.
And I am going to try to find you that house. But yes, you might come across also a house that you like on Zillow or just driving by, and then send it to me and I'll help you find whatever details, schedule a tour, whatever we need to do at that point.
Perfect.
But yes, I'll try to help you understand what you want, because you're gonna be excited. Yes, you're gonna want a house, and my job is to protect you from yourself sometimes. So
that's a priceless task in itself. So we picked the house, we tour this house. This is the first time I'm touring this house, and it has the it factor.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, this is the one. I know this is the one. We come to agreement that you think this would be a great house for me. I come to an agreement that I think this would be a great house for myself. Now, once I'm ready to step into the buying process, now that's the longest process, right?
It's not that long, 30 to 45 days from there, if they accept our offer. So let's talk offer.
Okay.
So find the house, love the house. Number one, first thing I'm gonna do, and again, remember the market changes all the time. We might be in a seller's market where we can negotiate much. We might be in a market where I can negotiate more for you. I'll guide you on that. That's my job. I help you understand, is this house priced right? Do we need to offer less than what they're asking, or are they actually pricing it under market value to sell it fast? So we need to do full offer. Like, I'm gonna help you understand the price, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna sit together. I am going to fill out that offer for you.
Okay.
We need that pre-qualification letter from the lender, and again, that's why it's important to talk. And I can recommend. There's 3 lenders that I love working with, and I work plenty with,
Okay.
and I vouch for them, and I can give you their name. You contact them, they contact you. We have that pre-qualification letter. I'm going to fill out an offer, which is going to have a lot of protection clauses for you,
Okay.
and that's my job to protect you again.
Okay.
We're gonna send that offer. You're gonna sign it electronically. You don't even need to come to my office or meet in person or anything. I send that offer. Let's say they accept your offer. Everything's fine. They accept your offer. Yay! Now you're under contract, meaning
Okay.
that house is going. They can't market. They can sell that house to someone else, like you were
Okay.
at that time. Then we move into inspection. That's what is not the longest part. Is where the most steps come in.
Okay.
There's inspection. So, do you know an inspector, a home inspector?
Someone that comes in and makes sure the house is livable, right?
Yeah. Do you
Perfect.
know anyone?
I don't.
But I do.
But you do.
Exactly.
Okay, no,
So-
I don't.
And I'll always recommend at least 3 people. Most of my clients tell me which one would you go with,
Okay.
and I'll give them my honest answer. But the 3 of them are great. Some people like to Google them and say, oh, I want to use this one.
Right.
So that's my job. I have people working behind the scenes that take over those contracts and help us schedule those inspections. I'll be guiding you, sending you notifications through the whole process, because you might want to be in the inspection, or your dad might want to go to the inspection to see what you're buying and what's going on.
Right.
So there's the inspection. Once we get that inspection report, we negotiate again. I have not seen one house, not even new construction, that's perfect, that has nothing to negotiate. So there's always going to be something, whether it's minor stuff where we can ask the seller to give you a credit to repair later, to it could be something big where we actually need them to repair it before you buy that house, okay?
Okay.
That contract's also going to go to a real estate attorney and to your lender, okay? Do you
Okay.
know a real estate attorney?
No, but
I
you
do
do.
also, exactly. So I'll recommend some to you. The attorney's job will be, and we do that. We send all that. We send this contract. We keep on top of everything. Again, my job is to make your life easy
Okay.
and your home buying process a happy experience. The attorney is going to make sure that your title's clean, that, basically that you're not getting screwed with the house while
Okay.
buying the house, okay? The lender is gonna start asking you for probably more paperwork, bank statements, all that kind of stuff. They're gonna get that loan approved.
Mhm.
That lasts about 30 days, that whole process between the attorney, the lender, and, us negotiating inspections.
Okay.
Once all that is done, and again, there's ways to where if there's something wrong with the inspection, I can get you out of the contract. That's, we won't go into that deep right now because
Right.
it's a lot of information. Once all that is done, we go to an attorney's office,
Okay.
we sign,
Okay.
and you get your keys, and you're a homeowner at that time. Right? Isn't that exciting?
Okay, so I guess it's not as long as I thought it was. Maybe I was making things up in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a few random questions, right?
Okay.
So what would be the difference between an all cash offer, which I've
Okay.
watched Selling Sunset a time or two,
Okay.
and some people will be like, oh, I have an all cash offer. That seems like it moves a little bit faster.
Okay.
Or a normal buying process, which I guess I would use a lender.
Yes.
Right. So
What's the difference?
what's the
between them?
difference?
Okay. First of all, Selling Sunset, I love it too. I watch it all the time.
Right? It's,
I
love
for our podcast listeners here, Scout can see I'm wearing boots today, like hiking boots almost, because it's been raining outside and I've been showing properties all day. So it's not Selling Sunset. So not everything you see in Selling Sunset is really the way real estate works, but cash offers. So cash and financing.
Mhm.
So, If you have the cash to buy a house, of course, you don't wanna go into debt, that's when you buy cash. The seller will see it as favorable, because of course, if someone's coming with cash, they see it as there's no risk or less risk for this contract to fall through, because these people have the money, they don't have to go through the financing process still.
So they would basically just write, if the house is $200,000, a $200,000 check and just hand it over to them.
No,
No. See, I don't know this
yeah,
stuff.
no, that's how you get scammed.
That's how I get scammed.
Exactly. We still go through the same process as we talked before.
Okay.
I write an offer,
Okay.
only that in the offer is gonna say cash instead of financing.
Okay.
Instead of a pre-approval letter, we're gonna say send proof of funds that you have the cash to buy the house.
Okay.
Once that gets accepted, we go through the same steps. It goes to an attorney that makes sure you don't get screwed. We have inspections.
Okay.
There's just no lender involved. Okay?
Got it.
So that can be, instead of 30 to 45 days, you can do 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Okay, for closing. Once everything's done, title's clean, we go to the attorney's office. That's when you bring your check, and you do not write a check to the seller. That check goes, it's written to the attorney's name, or a wire transfer to the attorney's office.
Okay.
Everything goes through the attorney. You never write anything to the seller at that point. The attorney deposits that in an escrow account and writes a check to the seller. That's how you don't get screwed. And that's also how Mr. Seller protects themselves from scammers as well.
Got it.
So, yes.
Cool. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all.
Financing.
Financing.
So,
This would be considered good debt, right?
it is considered good debt.
Okay, perfect.
I can tell you, I don't even know how many people, countless people that have bought a house, and then, because I hear a lot, well, I don't know where I'm gonna be 2 years from now or 3 years from now, okay? I had people buying house, clients buying a house, and then 9 months later, having to relocate for work or whatever life circumstances, like things change, right? Life changes. And they call me, Carlos, can we sell the house? We sell the house, and they walk out of an attorney's office with I've seen anywhere from $30,000 to $150,000 checks. Because yes, because equity, they're growing equity. You're not paying a landlord. You're paying your own mortgage, your own loan. So that money is not wasted. So I always consider it good debt.
Got it.
You're always gonna pay a place to live, right? You gotta pay your rent right now.
Yeah,
right?
I do.
So might as well pay your own place at that point.
Right.
At least that's how I see it. Yes. Again, not buying's not right for everyone either. You might have a super low rent, and you might move every 3 months. I don't know. Like, there's always different circumstances, but I'm always gonna try to tell you what's the best. In most cases, buying's always the best way to go. You're building equity. You're building your future. If you don't, in the future, you can always sell your house and get your money back.
Yep.
If you buy another house, you can rent, which we're gonna have another episode talking about investments, how you can buy your first investment, or how you can move from your primary home, turn it into investment, and buy another house. So that's a whole other episode, but it's yours, and there's so much more you can do with it.
Right. Well, I think that's honestly all the questions I have. I kind of want to jump on Zillow and start looking at houses.
Right? I know. Isn't that exciting?
Yes, I am excited.
It is super exciting. It's first time home buying, especially.
Right.
And again, I work with resale, with every type of home, not just first time, but first time home buyer is special because there's excitement. I like to guide you through the whole process. I always make myself available for any question. So let's just real quick, we're running out of time, so just real quick, once we meet in person, that first session again, my goal is not to give you a lot of information that you'll be overwhelmed. It's just to get to know you and for you to know that I'm gonna take over from there. Most of the time, you don't even need to go on Zillow because I'll be sending you the properties. And all you gotta do is like it there, and I immediately know what you wanna go look at. We schedule the showings, but my goal is to get to know you and help you accomplish your goal, like help you get that house and not throw paperwork at you. After that, we'll work the rest. Like I'm here to do it for you, basically.
I like it. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
So let's go look for houses.
Let's go look for
Let's
houses.
talk to a lender. Let's get you pre-approved.
Let's
go
do
look for
it.
houses.
All right. Thanks, Carlos, so much.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you for being here. Thank you guys for listening.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
Catch you in the next episode.